And 3, and 2, and 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. We are live. Welcome to the Mixed Martial Arts Podcast, episode 24, take 2. I am your host, Ben Cohn. Joining me today, we have my co-host, Alejandro. Unfortunately, co-host Bilal is not here, so Alejandro will say hi, and we will collectively say hi.
Hi, you're sounding really dim right now.
I'm sounding what?
Dim.
Veem?
No, D-I-M. No, I'm sorry. That's for life. No, you're sort of sounding muffled again. You somehow started sounding muffled.
Okay, how about now? Is my voice coming through well?
Yes, it does.
Cool.
You get excited.
Okay. All right. Also,
hey, let's keep going. No. His superior South African internet, for whatever reason, is not cooperating today.
Well, we got to do it.
I also spoke to him yesterday, and he told me that he was in the middle of a drive and saw two baboons having sex on the side of the road.
Because of course he did.
And then he saw like an accident, like literally like a vehicle turned over and a bunch of cereals spilled over on the streets.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's always some shit. Whenever Bilal is driving and he's talking to him, there's always some shit going on in the background. It's really surreal.
It's really weird. I don't know what to say about it. Anyway, we had a bunch of things happen over the past weekend. We had a UFC card featuring a main event of Jacare versus Hermansson. We had a Bellator card, which featured the main event of John Fitch versus Rory McDonald.
Combate Americas happened.
What?
Combate Americas. Combate Americas.
Yeah. Combate Americas. And we also had the boxing card.
Yep.
Which I'll let you talk about if you'd like.
Well, just a little bit.
Go ahead.
Basically, homeboy won, and Mexico is the best country in the world, and you all suck. That's it.
Wow. Seems a little much, but all right, cool.
No, the guy actually from my home state.
Seems like it's still a little much, but all right.
No, it was very surprised by the fact that he came out like boxing Rumbisa, and Rumbisa fought orthodox for most of the fight, which made absolutely no sense.
Okay.
And then he changed to southpaw and started having more success, but by then it was too late. And also people started giving him rounds to Rumbisa just because he was doing better, but I don't think he was necessarily like either outlanding or landing the better shots against Estrada, even after he made his adjustment. But either way, Viva Mexico! I'm so happy. Melissa Martinez fought in Combate Americas and knocked out a Chilean girl, which made me happy also. Do you remember Ketel Castillo?
Yes.
Do you know that she's now like co-owner of Combate Americas?
Well, now I do.
Yeah, like she's there representing women or whatever in the board of Combate. I'm like, well, okay, that was random. Yeah, that's super random, but she is.
Huh.
And they had a card, like Paulina Granados, who trains at Alliance MMA, also fought there and lost. And some Mexican girl I knew nothing about, but now I know she trains out of Entram. Knocked the fuck out of a girl in 13 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah, 13 seconds, so expect to see more of that girl one day.
Ooh, before we also forget, speaking of Combate Americas, Tito Ortiz unretired and signed with him.
I know, but I didn't want to mention him because I don't like him.
That's fine. It did need to be said.
It did.
All right. Let's do some quick mentions about the Bellator card. Rory McDonald retained his title. He had a majority draw with John Fitch.
Yes, in one of the strangest fights I've seen in a while. Not the strangest, but one of the strangest.
Yep.
Because it leads you to think about what the fuck are we judging here?
Right.
Right? because there were a bunch of takedowns that led to nowhere, like fighting
But
for
Rory
positioning
had
and arm punching.
like while he landed the most
All of
individual strikes, how much do you need to offset all that control? It's so weird. It's so weird because they say like damage first, but are 2 hard strikes worth more than 4.5 minutes of grappling and
if they stagger you, yeah. If they stagger you,
I
yeah.
agree. Right, I tend to agree with that. I'm just saying.
Also,
that's the argument that's made.
Yeah, yes, I know. I hear you. And to sort of throw like a bone to John Fitch, he did land some elbows here and there, and he did cut Rory, but that seemed like an aesthetic consideration. He was like, you never felt like Rory was ever in danger, whereas at some points Fitch was backing against the cage and his knees were buckling, and like Rory just landed the better punches. He did the most damage. If you look at the punch stats, I don't know if they even have that. You're going to see like Fitch outlanded him by a lot, but it's a lot of those like arm punches to the side of your body, like that.
Right.
Those things. Yes, so it's confusing because at the end of the day, what we had was like a confused set of judges that could not arrive at a decision of who wins a fight. So, I mean, in my opinion, and this is being charitable to John Fitch, Rory should have won that fight 3 rounds to 2. Okay, the first, second, and maybe the fifth, maybe. I don't remember if it was in the fifth or the fourth where he actually kicked him in the face. But John Fitch just didn't do a lot. He took him down and he fitched him. And that's what he did. Rory didn't have this pro acumen, but even at the end of the day, he didn't really need it because he was never getting hurt at any point during the fight. In my evaluation, so I saw people rooting for Fitch because he's old, and I can respect that. But at the same time, he also looked huge. Like, I don't know, like massive, like even larger than he used to when he fought in the UFC. Do you remember how he looked in the UFC?
Yeah, he definitely looked like he put on a few pounds, to say the least.
Yes, of pure muscle. And he has failed it.
That's true.
Yeah, for PEDs. And he makes no excuses about it, by the way. If you read his interview or watch it or whatever.
I read it. Of the apologies, it's among the better ones.
Yeah, I know he zero excuses on his side, right? But the benefits do stay with you.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and he did look bigger. And also, he's more technical now than he's ever been, even though he's lower. It didn't matter much because he took Rory down, but he still ate a bunch of hard punches. So I am okay with Rory continuing in the tournament. I mean, it's a title defense. I don't think Fitch should have won. But it is concerning that after the fight was over, Rory gave a very strange post-fight interview where he said that he can't pull the trigger anymore and that he heard the Lord speak to him during the fight.
Sounds about right for Rory.
Yeah, I know, like that's strange, but if you're going to but he's fighting in about a month or so against the winner of Lima versus MVP. MVP may not look like a big deal, but if he beats Lima, for whatever reason, he is a big deal. He's going to murder Rory. If Rory fights Lima again, he's going to get murdered if he
Lima would kick his ass.
And he would kick his leg again.
Too, but he'd also kick his ass this time too.
I fear for him. If he really feels that way, maybe he should take a step back, reassess. I'm not saying retire, but reassess because he doesn't want to hurt people anymore.
I get it. All right, let's move on. We have a couple more fights on the Bellator card I wanted to discuss. Benson Henderson got another win to add to his already
split decision.
Split decision.
Of course.
It was against Adam Piccolotti, who's actually a pretty solid fighter. He's not some scrub.
No, the fight was pretty
It was a
decent.
good fight. It was good to see Benson get the win. He's 36 and he's got 35 or 36 fights already. He's definitely on the downswing. There's no question about that. But he is on a nice 3-fight win streak. I'm curious to see what he can continue doing. I always liked Ben Henderson, so
I always liked him. Yeah, I always had a soft spot for him. I never liked people that egged on him for his Jesus thing. Like he was always saying things like, "Oh, Jesus is the way" or whatever like that. Good for him.
I know.
Like he just want to fight. Like let him say whatever he wants to say. Don't be bitter about it.
Yep.
But I've always found amusing that he wins for split decisions.
It is very funny always. I'm sorry, I skipped. McFarlane. I guess this was a title defense, and she defeated Veda
Arteaga.
And it was by a doctor stoppage due to a brutal cut, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Apparently, they're going to have a rematch.
Why would they do that? I don't know, but cool. I know that Veda was winning, if I'm not mistaken, before the cut. So,
yeah, that's probably why they're having like a rematch. Arteaga has a lot, brings a good pace to fights, which is interesting. I would like.
It's not like there's no reason not to, I guess. So why not?
Yeah.
The only reason I wouldn't is just because it's not like she's got some massive win streak going for her. She's 5-3 with this loss, and she had a 2-fight win. I don't know.
No. Yeah, this is think of the Bellator 125 league. I'm sorry, the Division FSA Developmental League. That's how you have to look at it. I know she's a champion and she's very good. Ilima Le McFarlane is really good, but you have to think of it as a sort of developmental. Yeah, it's a development
for Peep. So I'm always down for that.
Yep. Think of it as developmental league with fanfare.
Yeah, I know. I get it. The last thing I want to talk about is Phil Davis beating the utter shit out of Liam McGeary. I said this on Twitter in a conversation with a friend of mine, Deep. I told him that Phil's going to dominate McGeary, and while I did expect it on the ground, I was a little surprised. McGeary's always been a bit overrated on the feet, I think. Very overrated on the feet, actually. But damn, did Phil beat the shit out of him every phase of that fight. So he's still, continuing to evolve and improve at this stage in his career. 26 fights in, he's 34. He's been fighting since 2008. It's really good to see. I always liked Phil. He made the mistake of running into my boy Bader twice. So, yeah. Oh, and Gaston Bolanos just fucking clocked Nathan Stone with a gorgeous left hook.
I didn't watch that.
It's worth taking a watch. It's a short fight.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the UFC card then.
I just want to say I will always like Liam McGeary for submitting Tito Ortiz. Let's keep going.
Yeah. Jack Hermansson made some noise beating Jacare.
Yeah.
There was a clear victory. There is no controversy. No weird shit happens. There's just a damn good fight between an older, I guess, fading out veteran who still got it. It's not like you can't take anything away from Hermansson. He beat a game Jacare Souza, a Jacare who would probably still beat in that fight most of the top 10. And he beat it. And it's clear.
But we can say some things about this.
Absolutely.
Do you start?
I point out, I talked to you about it before, but I feel like Jacare slimmed down recently. I don't know if it's for more than the last fight, really. He definitely seems his cardio last longer. Granted, he wasn't high output the first 2 rounds, but in that 3rd round, he certainly had high output, and he still looked okay in round 4. So, and he put out the most output in round 5.
Well, he was trying to get a KO.
But that's impressive. Like, we've seen Jacare be gassed out in round 3.
Yeah, I think that a lot of it has to do with age. That
Oh, for sure, no question. He's 39. He's turning
yeah,
40.
and yes, of course. But we saw something that we didn't see in the Whiteman fight, and it was that, for example, when you allow Jacare the time to rest, like these rest periods, like in between exchanges, he can sort of compose himself and sort of accommodate for a lot of potential eventualities. But if you do not allow him that chance, if you approach him with a constant work rate, and by work rate I mean like actual work rate, you are always doing something like clockwork. That not a lot of MMA fighters have that, but Hermansson does have that. And the window for him, for Jacare to adjust, was so slim that the fight started getting away from him. And when he could not outgrapple Hermansson, the fight started getting away from him even further until we get to the third round. And then Jacare just started he did the Michael Myers walk again, where he just slunk forward and started throwing body shots and headshots and body shots and headshots and hunting for a KO. And Hermansson looked dazzled for a minute, but then he came back in round 4 and he actually started meeting Jacare in the pocket. He started landing uppercuts, jabs, leg kicks, and by the end of the fight, Hermansson still lost the 5th round, but he won the fight handily. Like the first 2 rounds, all Hermansson. He even took Jacare down. He had him in a submission of, of which Jacare escaped because he's a fucking wizard.
Yeah, that was impressive. Not the way people usually escape it when I'm putting it in, but still pretty freaking awesome to watch him. But Jacare kind of knows a little bit more about the
Yeah, but that leads me to my next point. There is only so much you can teach people who have a base other than boxing. Because, for example, what Jacare needed here, and he did not have, was a way to work in the stand-up, around that work rate that was being put on him. Either from a kickboxing background. Yeah. Ah, fuck. Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can.
Okay, so Jacare doesn't have the tools. Like he's like a chimera. Like he's put together using different parts. But for example, he learned how to pocket box, but he didn't learn how to properly get into the pocket. Like he relies on his athleticism so much that when you're nearing 40 years old and you're already jiu-jitsu world champion at the level that you are, and you learn proper pocket boxing, but you never learn how to get in the pocket, technically, it affects you when someone that is longer than you starts using this long range tool set against you, and you have no idea how to get there because your athleticism is not enough, and it cannot offset that work rate, and it cannot offset that technique. So we have a fight that Jacare would have won 2 years ago, maybe. He would have won
3, I would say.
What?
Maybe 3.
No, I'm not sure. I think the Jacare that fought Musasi.
That was more than 2 years ago.
Really? Oh shit! Then you're right.
There's a lot more than that. Was, I think, 2014.
Oh my god, we're fucking old, man.
Yeah, that was way back. That was in 2014. Yeah, September of 2014. Wow, I can't believe I remember that. Yeah, I would say even the Jacare that murdered Vitor Belfort and Tim Boach.
Yeah, the Jacare that he fought differently. Like he could cut distance faster, so he would.
He was just faster. He was not as foot slow, and he was never like the fastest guy.
No, but he was incredibly fast. Like I mean, we're splitting hairs here. He's an A+ athlete.
Oh, I would say A.
Well, okay. He's not Joel Romero athlete.
Right. Well, that's A+. So I'm saying
A-. That's A++ and some asterisk.
He's an A- to an A. I would say he's not even like, I wouldn't consider him A+ at all.
For MMA standards, Like
Well,
I mean,
Romero is the highest standard in MMA, and he's an A plus. Jacare can't be an A plus.
Romero is the highest standard in nature.
Well, he's also in MMA.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if he and like, I don't know, like, you just need to preserve his genes for the future of humanity.
Well,
Like,
we need more crocodiles in the UFC. So. You know, he's alligator, right? Alligator.
Yeah, Jacare. God damn it! This fight was supposed to be Jacare versus Romero, but Romero pulled something, and he just couldn't come here. And then Hermy came in here. Yes, I'm calling him Hermy now. And in a month, he gets 2 wins, and now he's in the top 10. And now his gift, I guess, is going to be Joel Romero, which sucks for him. Like he said, I want a reward because I came in short notice. Dude, your reward is gonna be Joel Romero. That's fucked up.
Man, okay. Let's talk more about like what I actually saw in the fight and what was successful, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I really think we should get to the actual breakdown. What did you? Okay, so here's the first thing I like from Hermansson right away. Pressured. He worked the leg of Jacare right off the bat because he knows that Jacare doesn't really have range tools and Jacare needs to pressure. So if you take away the lead leg of Jacare, you're off the bat right away doing work. He used a really nice smooth jab. I really liked watching that. He was landing nice long
and consistently.
Very consistent.
That's the work rate I mentioned.
Right. So I really liked watching his range boxing. And in the first round, he dropped. No, I don't know if they counted. I don't think they counted it as a knockdown, just because it was he kind of like Jacare was
you mean when they were by the cage?
Yeah.
I think I actually do think that it was a legit knockdown.
It wasn't scored a knockdown though.
I know, but in my mind, it should have been, yes. But they were Jacare was reaching for his legs, like he was trying to grapple them.
He shot for it. Another thing I wanted to also say that I always kind of like thought this is important. Hermansson shot 10 times on Jacare,
which is insane. He jumped right
into the lion. Well, not the lions then, but the alligator.
No. Into the alligator.
He did it smartly. And he did it smartly because at no point was he really ever in danger. And it was always to offset the rhythm, to reset everything. Obviously, to keep Jacare on guard. He got 3 of those 10 takedowns, which was really impressive as well.
It looked very impressive.
One thing I do need to point out specifically that Hermansson just really didn't have answer. 2 things. One was the body shots. He had no real answer defensively for it.
Most MMA fighters don't.
Right, but in the 4th round, his answer was, "I'm going to throw a stupid amount of volume," and it worked.
Yes,
it worked.
Yes, the closest thing that he found to an answer against body shots was the uppercut, which he landed on Jacare twice.
Yes,
I think in the 4th round.
I believe it was the 4th.
Yes.
The other thing I need to point out before you go on, because you might want to talk about it too, his defense was not good. Jacare landed over half of his strikes. And
yes,
while being tough is good. Yeah, man. You don't want to be eating 50% of the shots from Robert Whittaker. You don't want to be eating 50% of the shots from Yoel Romero. You don't want to be eating those shots from Israel Adesanya.
Or Kelvin
Gastelum. Like that's a real potential issue.
Yes,
going forward.
That is a deal breaker. In fact, that
is to avoid the strikes incoming. If you could do it against lower level guys, great. But Jacare at 39 landed over 50% of his strikes and hurt him. That's a big problem going forward.
Yes, that is the problem is that he's still he's very complete as an MMA fighter, but he has not developed a craft around pocket boxing. If you see Jacare, he has some sense of craft around pocket boxing. He may
of craft. He's got a lot of craft. He did a
I
ton
know.
of damage in that.
I know, but look the way he moves his trunk, Jacare, right? Just Jacare. Look the way he moves his trunk in the pocket and the way he moves his head in the pocket before he throws. Like, he has been properly schooled in that aspect. He may not know how to get into the pocket without relying on stupid explosion forward, but once there, Jacare is in he's at home, and we saw that against Hermansson. Hermansson showcased a lot of heart, and he earned this win. But that's a sticking point going forward. He needs to develop like some actual technical tools, because going forward is going to get very, very difficult and very, very rocky for him. And watching Dustin Poirier fight Max Holloway, this is doable. Like, now we know we have like let's say a road for MMA fighters to follow, that it is possible to have an actual working infighting defensive maneuvering, or whatever you want to call it. Like, this exists. It's out there. The footprint is there. So he should start following it. Get to a boxing gym, get wherever you need to get, because this is going to be a liability against people that will be able to catch him and that won't be 40 years old. But he did win the fight, and good for him. I mean, like...
Yeah, no. It was a fantastic win. He deserves that win, and it skyrockets him, I think, into the top 5, right? I think Jacare was number 4.
Yes. The problem again is he gets Joel Romero next. Shit.
No, he doesn't. I think Romero's booked with Costa.
No. Costa is in suspension for...
I think he's already unsuspended. No? Was he already unsuspended?
No. I think, look, the thing with Paulo Costa, as I understand it, is that he used a permitted substance through an IV.
I know. No, right. I know that. I'm saying I'm pretty sure his suspension might already be up, right?
Well, it started 6 months. It was 6 months ago, so I think it's already November. No, I think it's up. Yes, I think you're correct. Also, he invoked this niche clause.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did. Yes. So okay, I'm looking at the top, the middleweight title, the middleweight picture right now. We got Whitaker and Adesanya will be fighting. We have Romero and Costa. I'm assuming is going to be booked. That's the
assuming Romero is healthy.
That's the number 2 and number 7. Rockhold is fighting at light heavyweight. Souza just lost to Hermansson, and Kelvin just lost to Adesanya. He's not fighting anytime soon. And then we have Chris Weidman. Brunson is fighting Theodoro. So, and then Jared Cannonier. Cannonier is Cannonier booked?
I don't think so.
I don't think he's booked either, but I don't think Hermansson should fight Cannonier.
No, he should.
Wow. Cannonier is booked to face Silva. So the only guy.
Oh, it's true.
Oh God, the only guy not booked is Weidman.
I know. I want to see that fight.
I would like to see that fight as well. But Weidman did just get knocked out by Souza.
That is a fair point, but for whatever reason, and this makes me a bad man, I kind of enjoy watching Chris Weidman's fights when he doesn't win.
Okay, you are a bad person. That's just mean.
Hey, you have Anthony Pettis, man.
That's
I have Chris Weidman.
That's fair. Wow. So really, the only person available is Weidman, which doesn't really make sense because honestly, Hermansson might be getting ranked above him now. The only other potential person is Gastelum, but he definitely would have to wait a long time for him.
No, Chris. I was going to say Chris Gastelum. No, he doesn't exist. No, Kelvin Gastelum needs to.
You know who I'd rather see fight Chris Weidman though?
Who?
Antonio Carlos Jr.
Cara de Zapato?
No, Antonio Carlos Jr. He's expected to face some guy, Ian Hennish, coming up. But I'm not happy with how they're booking Carlos Jr., but he's expecting to face some guy who's 12
He is
and 1.
Cara de Zapato.
He's a Tuesday night contender series guy.
Yeah, no, I like. Look, first of all, you're wrong. He is Cara de Zapato, means shoe face. Okay?
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, fine. Yeah, he is shoe face.
Yeah, and I want him fighting lower opposition.
But he's already the ranked number 12. What do you mean fighting lower opposition? He just beat Tim Boach before this.
Yeah, but I like him.
Oh, you just want him to keep winning?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I think he's a legit top 10 at this point. I think he could be a top 10 guy.
I know, but I think he needs more seasoning. Get more wins.
He's already fighting for 6 years.
Yeah, I know. I want him to take it slow. Enjoy the ride.
He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's got 10 UFC fights already, man.
I know. Even better.
He hasn't really fought anyone good.
Why start now? Why start now? Just let him enjoy it for a while. Get another submission.
I mean, he's fighting somebody who's, probably not beat him. After that, let's throw him in with Brad Tavares. What's Brad Tavares doing?
I don't know. Like, should he fight?
Brad Tavares is not booked, so I would say book them together. It's a good test, I would say, to see where he's at.
Against Shoeface?
Yeah.
No, I don't like that fight. I think Tavares may win.
He might, but I really would like to see Shoeface beat him. So let's move on to Mike Perry versus Alex Oliveira.
Holy shit, that fight confused me. It was a confusing fight. That fight made no sense, and I need to talk to someone about it. I
want to point out my reasoning for picking Mike Perry to win, and it came down to simply this. Alex Oliveira is an offensive dynamo whose durability is questionable. Now, it's not to say he's easy to knock out. I mean specifically his durability. He doesn't like taking damage, despite the fact that every fight he's in is a fucking...
No, I think you're wrong. No, he likes taking damage. It's just that he is unable to take as much damage as he would like.
I disagree. He does not like taking damage. You don't react. He does not like taking damage.
Dude, he's out there smiling and dancing, and then he gets clocked by Mike Perry.
I think that's the message. I think he's having fun out there. I don't think whenever he gets hit hard, the smile goes away.
No, not in this fight. He was smiling a lot.
He was smiling after the reset and after Perry backed off, or after he hit.
That's a fair point.
When Perry clobbered him, there was no smile.
Yeah, I concede. Yeah, because I remember that. Okay, this looks goofy. He was smiling when he was like kicking the shit out of Perry, and then when Perry would punch him really, really hard, he was like, "I'm not enjoying this so much anymore."
Exactly. I also want to point out, while Perry definitely has a long way to go if he ever wants to be an elite fighter,
he did learn.
I really enjoyed what I saw from him because Mike Perry lost that first round bad.
Yes,
and he came back and didn't just he clearly won that fight.
Can we just say that he actually did technical things correctly?
Yes.
Because that
yeah.
Oh, but this
uses athleticism, a lot.
But for example, let me say something first.
Sure.
Let me say something.
Oh, go ahead.
Can I say something? That is my catchphrase.
Can I say something?
Yes, I will say something. No, so there was this small pocket of time, little bubble, where Cowboy is throwing jabs at him, and he evades each and every one of them.
That was great. I remember. No, I know exactly what you're referring to.
Yeah. It was beautiful. It was
gorgeous
beautiful.
head movement.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
I was just confused because Mike Perry, like, it's like you saw everything about Mike Perry in this fight. You saw the technical aspect. You saw he was setting up counter punches with both hands, having success with it. He was cutting off the cage properly sometimes.
Yeah. Well, sometimes.
No, I mean sometimes. That's all.
Sometimes
No,
you
I'm saying in general, right? And then you saw all the crazy shit he does that shouldn't work, but works because he's a super athlete. And he tried to do a high crotch takedown that
He
turned.
did.
But then it transformed into just lifting a man up and then slowly letting him fall against the ground, and then he
Which was awesome. That was funny as shit.
And insane. Like,
Great.
Okay, like he overdid the high crotch, right? He is so strong. Like
you can never overdo a high crotch.
Except if you're Mike Perry. And look, when the man escapes you vertically, you have overdone your high crotch.
No, Mike Perry did not. He overdid.
No. Yes, no. This should be a stone cold rule. Like this should be written like in fucking runic or whatever ancient language there is. If your man escapes you vertically, you did the move wrong.
Yeah. I also want to just say that listen,
you want to see
Mike Perry. I'm not the biggest fan of his antics.
He's weird.
I look at him a lot like a Justin Gaethje. Go to Trevor Whitman. Go to Trevor Whitman.
Or Henry Hooft.
No.
Yeah, I was happy. I had this conversation with Bilal yesterday, and he made a good point that Henry Hooft is kind of a meathead, but he's not a meathead. So he can communicate with Perry in a language that he understands.
But I don't think Henry Hooft's gonna be the most conducive. Don't get me wrong. I think he could definitely improve Perry as a fighter.
Do you really think?
I think he would improve Perry as a fighter, and I think he could probably connect with him on a mental aspect. But I don't think he would necessarily draw out the best of Perry.
Okay.
Well, I think he could also exacerbate the worst aspects of Perry.
Okay, let's imagine
all that positive. Well, I don't. And on the flip side, I don't think Trevor Whitman exacerbates the worst parts of any of it.
Okay, let's imagine this scenario and tell me what you think. And be honest. Not Henry Hooft. Trevor Whitman and Mike Perry are sitting down. They're facing each other and they're having a conversation. Do you think that conversation makes sense? It's how anything.
I don't think that he would. I'll tell you what I would do if I was Trevor Whitman and trying to recruit Mike Perry. I would simply pull out my phone, pull up UFC Fight Night, type in Justin Gaethje, and just put the phone in front of him and say,
"You can do this."
You could just say like, everybody. Then he could say like, everybody said, I need to teach him how to fight technically. Mike, you don't need to be the most technical fighter. You need to be the best fighter. I can make you the best fighter that you can be. And I can use your power and athleticism and the fact that you want to knock people the hell out. And you want to be exciting. And you want to have those highlight reels. I will give you those highlight reels.
Yeah, see, in this scenario, I am Mike Perry, and I understood none of what you just said because you're an old man. And I don't understand what you mean. You look old.
I don't agree. You're not we can talk about Perry. He does want to improve, and he wants.
I know, but he seems to improve in strange ways. Like I don't understand.
He does improve in strange ass ways. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Kelvin Gastelum in that sense. Like that head movement where it's like just out of nowhere, he just displays beautiful head movement. His eyes are directly on the following every movement Alex Oliveira is making, dipping, ducking, diving, bobbing, weaving, beautifully parried, blocked, whatever it was, and just every shot missed. And then he ate every shot for the next 2 minutes. Like, So it's like he went full Kelvin, and you never go full Kelvin.
No, full Kelvin went full Kelvin, and we saw what happened with Adesanya. Well, he went full Kelvin with his hands down, which is never good. But I still love my dog boy. No, but Mike Perry, I was having this conversation with Bilal after the car when he was on the road, and I said we had a conversation that Mike Perry is like a legendary Pokemon that they just exist. They don't have to make any sense. They're just super powerful. Yeah, he just exists. He doesn't make any sense. He goes and does whatever he does, and then he disappears.
It's just the way of Perry, man. It's the way of
it doesn't make sense. Like Mike Perry, I don't even know. I don't even know how many episodes ago we were having a conversation about whether or not he was even coachable.
I remember this. Yeah.
Now we know empirically that he is coachable. He will learn things.
Just very not well.
No. They will just come out at random times.
Yep. All right, we gotta move on. We're gonna do some quick mentions. Glover Teixeira went full old man on
versus
young Cutelaba. He survived. Glover Teixeira's got the weirdest durability / chin situation going on. Like he gets hurt bad in every fight at this point, and somehow is pulling it out. Like he's got rocked by Serkinov, Roberson, and Cutelaba, and somehow won all three of those by finish in the first round. Oh, sorry, Cutelaba was the second round, but still. He got sandwiched. He sandwiched that with a Corey Anderson decision.
Yeah, I think his chin is just going to Orlovsky levels.
No, it's worse than Orlovsky. Orlovsky's not getting dropped in every fight.
I know. My point is that there is a point where you get it's a bad joke, but let me repeat it anyway because I got the dignity. That you get enough damage that your chin goes, and then at some point it gets hurt some more, and it becomes good again.
I don't think it's good though. He's just using. I think he's and he's not like he looks like he's in better shape than ever.
I know. He's just savvy. He's savvy.
Yeah. And it's great to watch. I really always enjoyed watching Glover's ground game.
I always love watching an old man beat a young man. There is never not a time when I will not enjoy it. And the older I get, the more I will enjoy these types of things.
And we'll have to mention Sandhagen Lineker's amazing fight. I didn't watch it, unfortunately, so I can't really talk about it. Ben Saunders, I'm sorry, man.
Yep, love you.
Go down. I love the dude. I really hope he probably doesn't care what I think. I hope he considers retirement. I mean, he's been knocked out a lot. He's got 8 knockout losses, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those have been since he's returned to UFC. 5 of those since 2016. That's really bad. He just is not durable enough. He's just not durable enough anymore.
No, he's the most technical he's ever been, and his skills are the most polished that there have ever been. The problem is that the ability to absorb punishment is not there. So he is not allowed to work under duress any longer. And you kind of need that if you're going to be fighting in the UFC.
Yeah. By the way, if you're wondering what that noise was, it's Daniel. Let's. Andrei Arlovsky lost a split decision. What loss is that? I think he's got another long ass losing streak right now. Yep, he's 0-3-1 in his last 4, and then 2 wins before that and 5 losses before that. So he is.
No, he's in a difficult position.
1 in his last 10 fights, in his last 11 fights. Wow. Okay, but he's been really active. He's fought 11 times since 2016. That's crazy.
Yeah, like he's no slouch. He's out there. He's putting out work. I fucking love the guy.
I wish him the best. It's good to see him just not get knocked out though. Like he's losing these fights without getting knocked out. So that's a plus, Like there's always you gotta look at the positives, right?
Yeah.
What else? Gilbert Burns, I'm always happy to see him win. I mean, I've always been a fan of him ever since I met him at the New York Open once. Dude was super sweet to me. You know, sat and talked to me for a little bit about some fights and stuff, and then I watched him compete. Always good to see him, and he got a sub. He stopped fucking banging for 5 seconds to submit someone.
That's nice.
Yep, and Jim Miller got another sub.
Which we love.
Jim looked physically not the same. I mean, he's no longer in the same shape. He's no longer in his prime.
Yes, but
to see him at this age go out there, get a rear naked choke, first round, no damage. I'm happy.
Yeah, especially because he actually had like a disease.
Lyme disease.
Like,
yeah.
What was?
Lyme disease.
Yeah, Lyme disease, and he actually was actually a lot of his losing streak from back then had to do with him not even knowing what it was. He thought it was.
Yeah, he what's his name? He lost to Dustin Poirier while having Lyme disease.
Yeah, but it was a tough fight, eh? Yeah, I mean, what to say? Like he's to me, he's done more than enough. He can ride into the sunset.
I don't think he will, but I hope he does.
I know, like fighters are fighters. They're not.
It is what it is. Like, what are you gonna do? It is what it is.
Yeah.
I think that's it for the card. I think we could. I think we're good with the card, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry if we missed any fights that you wanted us to talk about. It's just one of those cards. It's been kind of crazy. We also apologize for not having an episode last week. It was kind of crazy between Passover. And
we actually tried.
We did try, and my computer it just did not work out. Just so you're aware, next week the Ally Quinta versus Donald Cerrone. Who do you got in that fight, and why?
Real quick. Quinta because he's a better fighter. Ooh. No, in the end, no.
Okay, hold up.
No.
I agree with the pick. I think I want to do with Cerrone's career at this point versus Iaquinta.
No, I'm just being a dick. No, Iaquinta has a lot of grit, and he's also very technically sound.
Yeah.
And the things that Cerrone struggles with, Iaquinta does very, very well. And the things that tend to save Cerrone when he runs into trouble, namely, it's underrated grappling.
Right.
Iaquinta can offset. I'm not going to say that.
Here's the thing.
Yes.
I know these are a while ago, these losses.
Yes.
But aside from Khabib, the type of losses he's had seem to be to opportunistic grapplers. Mitch Clark caught him with a Darce. Michael Chiesa caught him with an RNC in the first. Howard Outerwood caught him with an armbar in the first.
Okay.
There's like this. I think it was Heavy Hands talking about how do fighters ever really change in terms of matchups. Cerrone is an opportunistic grappler with a phenomenal amount of skill in every area in fighting, and a lot of veteran savvy.
Okay, see, you're trying
right.
You're trying to outline his path to victory here.
Correct.
Okay.
I think that we've seen multiple times Iaquinta lose in a similar fashion.
Okay.
And I don't know. Is he already past the level of being able to beat the opportunistic grappler at the elite level? Because Cerrone is the elite version of those guys.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
That is. I think he is. I want to make it clear.
No. To that I would say this. Yes, there is a very good chance that against that type of a fighter, Iaquinta, he would fall for that. The problem is that Cerrone, for all we have seen of him, he is way older.
Yeah, there's also the weight cut. That was also my
Yes,
other thing
so
about this.
yeah, the age gap is going to be significant, and also the technical gap. Like Ayacuinta what is Ayacuinta? How okay? I'm going to frame it like this: how much worse technically is Ayacuinta than Cerrone?
I mean, it depends on the area, but in terms of boxing, he's better.
Yeah.
Kicking range, he's obviously not on that level.
Oh, yes. So
Pace,
okay.
I would say pace and cage awareness. Um, Early on, I would say Iaquinta. Later on, probably if Cerrone's allowed to get the momentum going, then Cerrone is
Okay, so
pretty good. It's
we're
that's my.
assuming that
I
he
would
has
say
a
Iaquinta's more consistent with his cage IQ.
yes, and we have to factor in this last thing: the weighting, the weigh-in. How much will it affect Cerrone, and to what extent? Because, because we
Here's the thing. He just fought a freak athlete in Hernandez, and his durability held up, and his gas tank held up. It was
but
weird because, especially
no,
because he's been fighting at welterweight and not cutting the weight, and to see him drop back down and look
I
durable.
in my opinion, that was mostly due to the fact that he wasn't rocked, and he fought a fighter that did not treat
But he
him
also
with.
ate some massive body shots.
I
And
know,
was
yeah,
hot.
but I know, but the Cerrone is not brittle in the body like that. He's not
Yeah,
brittle.
that's kind of not brittle, but the running theme was he's able to be hurt to the body
Well, everybody's
consistently.
able to be hurt to the body, like literally
Well,
every.
he has that giant scar. I think he had surgery because he fell from like rock climbing or something.
Yes, I know, but my point is that he took those shots, but does not necessarily mean that he will be able to take those shots at the pace that an actual smart fighter will put on him,
Right.
which is Al Quinta.
Also, it's very possible. It depends on which Cerrone shows up. If he shows up with that weird dad hair and beard, I think he wins.
Maybe look. When Donald Cerrone is on, he
Dad
is
Roney.
on.
It's dad
When
boy.
he's on, yeah. When okay. When he's off, he's really off.
Yeah.
So if it is the middle portion,
I'm honestly, the more I think about it, God damn it, because it's not like Iaquinta pressures a lot, but he can when he wants to. Like,
and
he is more than comfortable fighting off the back foot / in the pocket in the middle of the cage. But if you give Cerrone time to play with the range, you usually lose those fights. Iaquinta sometimes does that, but he also can push.
yeah, but Iaquinta
I didn't
also,
like how much he played with Kevin Lee in the middle of the cage. I really didn't like it.
yeah, but
really
he
didn't
can.
like it.
Yes, but he can put a work rate on you.
He
Like
could put a work rate, but he also puts it. He does it a lot at the range that isn't necessarily the most effective against Cerrone. Smart
yes,
pressure is the most effective game plan against Cerrone. We all know that. We've seen it time and again. Consistent smart pressure is the best way to go.
yes, and Iaquinta can do that.
Correct.
So the thing is, can Iaquinta at his age and his level of development?
But consistently.
No, I'm sorry. Say again.
But will he? Because he doesn't do it consistently. Which is weird because he comes from Serra Longo, so it's not like he doesn't have that style ingrained in him or taught to him. He just will sometimes choose to fight off the back foot. Or I take that back because he definitely can do it. I take that back. I think actually we are going to see him do that because I just remembered him doing it to Diego Sanchez very effectively. Granted, it's Diego Sanchez, I know, but he right out of the gate did it.
Yep, and I think if again, I'm hypothesizing, but if you're fighting a guy who is a known quantity by now, and the way to beat him is through pressure, and
I know how this fight ends.
Huh?
I think I know how this fight ends. I think Iaquinta's going to pressure. Cerrone's going to try to work that step knee to the body, and Iaquinta's going to time it with a right hand.
That is very probable. That is what I was going for. Not in that exact sense.
I'm saying that I think that's going to be the exact sequence.
Yeah, I think that's probable because Cerrone has this thing that he does where he has a lot of like step in defensive tactics.
Right.
I think that these things run like clockwork. Like he's in on quantity, so if they're watching tape, they are preparing Al for this. And if you have the skills that Iaquinta has, and you know what you already know, chances are you're going to come out stalking the guy and throwing that and wait exactly for that one thing, and then you're going to clock your guy. And that's probably either what ends the fight or what leads to the end of the fight or what turns the momentum in his favor.
Yep. So who are you picking in the end, Iaquinta, and how?
I am picking Iaquinta by TKO round 2.
Yeah, that's actually what I'm going with as well. I think he's going to TKO him in the second.
Yeah. Cerrone is going to submit him in round 1, right?
Yeah. Next up, we got Derek Brunson versus Elias Theodorou. I'm going to root for Elias. I'm trying to think how he beats Brunson because when Brunson is not afraid, he does well.
I know, and Elias is not exactly scary.
He's very good at winning, but he's not scary. No.
Yes.
If there's one thing Brunson does a lot of, it's pressure.
Yeah, but he also is very much a schizoid when he fights. So even though his pressure is great, it's not necessarily good pressure.
Right. No, it's not. But it's not. Does Elias really have good footwork though?
No, but what he does well is little consistent annoying things.
Oh, so, no question. But I'm just
what I see.
I'm gonna pick Elias, but I'm really scared.
I am scared too because fucking Derek Brunson, right?
Yeah. I'm scared, and I'm sitting in New York.
First of all, I like Elias. Second, but I do see a path to victory.
No,
it is a very complicated one. It relies
almost perfectly. What makes me nervous is Eric Anders. Eric Anders was able to find Elias's chin, and he's a lot less. He has a lot less output, and he's less skilled as a fighter than Derek Brunson. So that's what makes me.
Yeah, but he's also slower. Yes, but he also punches much harder.
Brunson hits really hard.
No. Well, it's different because Brunson hits when he's lunging forward, but when he's planting, he doesn't punch as hard. If you know what I mean.
True. Oh, I see. Okay. So he doesn't punch hard technically. He punches hard athletically.
Well, I'm looking at it in terms of a physicist in that when he's covering space quickly, it's in a forward sense. Like that's when he carries it the most power. When he has to plant and be technical and throw punches, it's not great. No. He's a professional fighter. I'm not going to say he's bad.
No, but he's definitely a bit, like you said.
Yeah, and in those moments when Elias is being fucking annoying, not allowing you to explode, or if you want to explode, he's running the other way. He's like, "Fuck it, I'm out of here. I'm not going to engage. Fuck you." Yeah. Like he has.
Yeah, I can see that really frustrating Brunson.
Yeah, in those tiny gaps. Now, if you're Elias Theodorou, you're looking for those gaps.
Here's the thing: Theodorou is not a finishing threat. So
yeah. I know.
Unless Brunson's chin is just gone at this point, which is not an unlikely scenario due to the damage he's taken in his losses recently and throughout his career.
Remember, if you annoy Brunson enough,
he runs face first.
No, not only that, he freaks out and hangs back. He's more aggressive at not being aggressive. Yeah. Remember his fight with Anderson Silva.
Which he should have won, but I digress. Cub Swanson, Shane Burgos. This fight saddens me because I think Cub is done. I think he's just physically done.
I like Cub Swanson.
He got dropped by a Volcano jab, and if there's one thing Burgos is really good at, it's hitting hard. Granted, Burgos, in my opinion, is showing his own lack of durability, but I think
Burgos is like a younger version of Cub Swanson in a way.
Kind of, yeah. I think more offensively.
No, but
he was more of a lead guy than Burgos.
Yeah, but what I mean is that a younger version does not mean that it's the same. It means that it's like an improvement, like a thematic improvement.
But if he's the same, if he's a newer version, will Swanson's experience as the prior version beat him there?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell myself. But it's probably not going to happen.
I can't get over Kurt Holloway dropping Shane Burgos. Like that.
I know. That is my one hope.
Really bad. Like Kurt is not he's not a knockout striker.
Yeah.
He was lighting him up. Fuck it. I'm picking Cubby. I'm going Cubby. And I think he's gonna knock Burgos out.
Fuck it. Let's pick up Swanson. Fuck it.
Last one I want to just mention, real brief, is Merab Dvalishvili. I fucking love this guy. I don't know if you remember him. He's the guy who won. He did all that spinning shit in the first round against Ricky Simone. Not the first round. He did the spinning shit the whole fight. Was put in a submission. Didn't tap out. The bell rang, but he was unconscious, so they ruled it a loss.
What? I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, and then he beat Terrion Ware.
Huh.
So,
that's
go Merab. I fucking love that dude. I love him.
Do you know? You know what? You know that you mentioned spinning shit. Do you remember the guy from the GIF? Yeah, I know the people that invented the GIF said it's GIF. Fuck that, it's GIF. The guy from the GIF, like the Brazilian guy that does a bunch of crazy spinning shit that makes no sense. That guy's been signed by the UFC.
Awesome. Can't wait. Last couple of mentions. Andrew Sanchez came to Marcelo's. Go Andrew. Iman Zahabi is fighting. Nordine Taleb is fighting. And Arjan Bular is fighting again. Yay.
Arjan Bular. Is he the Indian guy?
He is. That's why I mentioned him.
So on account of Mehul, we have to root for him.
Yep, pretty much. All right. Thank you all so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure to come back.
Next week. Whoa. Next week is Canelo night. Canelo Fight Night. Yep.
I'm looking forward to that. I think everyone is.
Hell yeah. Go Ginger. Well, what happened there? Well, okay. Apparently.
I'm back.
Okay, get back. I don't have to delay it. What?
Doesn't his nickname mean cinnamon?
Yeah, no. Canelo is cinnamon, but I don't like the sound of that in English. I just rather call him Ginger.
All right. Anyway, like I said, thank you all so much for joining us. I got to go take care of my kid. So I will see you all next week. Thank you all for joining.
Yes, be a good father.
Later, bro.
Yeah, love you all. Later. Bye.
Bye.